Welcome to the Tarp Report with Sam and Jess.
When Trey started, he always checked the levels.
Yeah.
You should check the.
It doesn't.
He just made
We
us.
never needed to do that.
He just made us be quiet for 10 seconds. Are you ready? Okay.
Okay, I'll start.
Yep.
Okay. 1, 2.
No, you have to be quiet too. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Welcome. We got it. I think the levels are great.
I think the levels are great.
Check the levels.
Yeah. Welcome to episode 29.
20.
Or is it 28 or 27 or 29?
I thought it was.
We've recorded 29 episodes. One couldn't be aired. One is lost to time.
For poop's sake.
Yeah.
I think this is 30.
Oh, yeah. So it depends on if you count the last episode or not.
Because look, it's fine. Who
Wait,
knows?
wait,
We're on.
Wait.
Yeah. Well, it says 27.
Episode 28,
but I
yeah.
think I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
We're so close. But
Quality's been going downhill.
it's not been.
This isn't a good podcast anymore.
But you know what?
It all changes today.
Turning a corner.
Yeah,
Turning a corner.
Yeah.
It's going to be different from here on out.
Dude, my dog was so pissed when I got Jazzy this morning.
Yeah,
when I got out of
your
bed,
dog.
she looked at me and she was like, "Let me guess, podcast."
Did she say that?
No, she doesn't talk.
Yeah, I just.
Dog.
Right.
But it was definitely like a vibe where like a lot of mornings, like I kind of wake up, I get a cup of coffee, me and Jazzy go for a walk.
Yeah.
But a lot of mornings I got
stuff to do.
I got shit to do yesterday.
Busy.
Shit to do today.
And you're tired this morning.
Yeah, but I'm good though.
Okay.
Good, though. Yeah, I'm fired up.
I'm tired too because it's been. I know. It's been wild in the Big Brother house, so I just haven't slept.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Just busy.
I get that that's a thing that you really care about. And I'm very respectful of things that you care about. We had some issues, Isis, about my disrespect of Big Brother.
No. I just like to. Legitimately, I watch it all morning, evening, all of it, and so if there's something juicy going on, I'll literally stay up until like 2 or 3 in the morning watching it.
Was there like a juice storyline?
No, actually, last night I fell asleep early, so I'm just joking. I just
could
want to talk about Big Brother.
I could come up with a good juice storyline on a reality show.
You could?
Yeah, because dude gets home to the reality house.
Yeah. Where was he?
He was at another reality house.
Okay.
And he's drunk.
Oh.
And like it's 4 a.m. and he's like, "I'm gonna make a smoothie."
Yes.
And he gets the juicer, and then he wakes up Kelly.
Yeah.
And they already had a thing because they made out in the hot tub one time. Because that happens a lot.
Yes.
And then she's like, "Oh my God, are you juicing? You're an alcoholic.
Juicing again.
You're an alcoholic."
You're a juiceaholic.
Yeah. And you're naked.
How do you feel about this new angle?
Huh?
I feel like,
I don't know, because I look at you.
well, normally.
I guess if I moved over here, it'd probably be better. Yeah.
Are you supposed to podcast?
That's a better angle.
Are you supposed to? Are you supposed to?
I'm not doing it like that. I'm doing it like this.
I feel like in the office.
Isis is fucking up.
No way.
Isis
First of all,
is not welcome.
here on time.
Yeah,
Actually,
here
early.
on time. Things are
Early.
set up. That's good.
Everything was already set up, plugged in, ready to go. We didn't have to call you.
Trey did a good job.
I know. I saw. I was.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was gonna say no one had to pick you up. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. That's it.
And I have been in contact with Trey. I got some stuff that I'm gonna do with Trey, which is cool. So
That's good.
Yeah, it makes
we
me
love
happy.
Trey, and yeah.
And yeah, we talked about it on the last episode, and I saw it.
You've never referenced something that we talked about on the last episode. You talked about what were you saying? Sorry.
Because I'm a forward-looking individual.
I know.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I'm always in the present or the future, never in the past.
What were you saying? You forget.
I Trey's not here.
Yeah.
And Isis is here.
Isis is here.
Yeah, our new producer. Mm-hmm. And she didn't say anything.
Which is so nice.
Yeah. But
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
We do have Isis mic'd up.
Yeah.
Just in case.
How are you feeling this morning, Isis?
Feeling great.
I love it. Maybe if you could just shorten those answers a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just say great.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's a feeling.
Good.
Good. That's what I'm talking about.
Long-winded, that one.
Yeah. But I know what you mean. It is, it's just different. We had 28 episodes with Trey, and this is our second episode with Isis. And we had Nate last episode, so
That was crazy.
He was kind of like the only fella in the room. He kind of takes up a lot of, I don't mean this in a bad way, but he takes up a lot of space because he's
Did you just call Nate
magnanimous.
overweight?
He is overweight too. What?
No.
He knows it.
Oh,
Doesn't matter. We can talk about stuff.
I can't help it. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I know. What a hot take. I can't wait. I hope somebody sends us a Nate and they're like, Sam said you're overweight, and you're like, man, fuck that guy. That's what he's gonna say.
Yeah.
But
And
that's
then-
what happens. But yeah, it was. Yeah, it's different, and I don't
It's
know. We can with change.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like to, like I said, I just kind of move forward and I vibe, and like I said,
everything's
I love
fine.
Trey, and like I miss Trey, but I'm also grateful that Isis is here. And Isis, you did a fantastic job setting up this morning, and it was
so
really
nice.
nice coming in here and being like, oh yeah, this is it.
Ready to go. We could literally just sit down and go.
Yeah,
That's
it was
nice.
cool, and it's good because you have to work. I have a Zoom meeting coming up
You
at
have-
11. So
For
that documentary thing that I can't I probably shouldn't talk about, but I don't really give a shit. So a friend of mine who I did some work for, I was in a movie. You could actually look it up on Amazon called Buzzard Hollow Beef, and he was the guy who did that movie. I did some other work for him that I
But
can't
hold
talk
on.
about.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I gotta start saying things when I say things in my head. Buzzard
Buzzard Hollow Beef. So I was like
hollow beef.
I was like a redneck, possibly a cannibal, who I was.
Wow, what a stretch!
I know. I really had to like. It's funny. I
Did
got
you have to
typecast.
hire an acting
No, what's
coach?
funny is that so this dude, he was on Facebook and he was looking for actors, right? And
Yeah.
he got on his Facebook and he went to Evergreen, right? His name's Josh Johnson, and he went to Evergreen and all this shit, and so he wants to film the movie around Olympia because he loves the area. And he got on Facebook and he was like, I'm looking for like a local person to play a redneck cannibal. And like 4 different people tagged me in the comments. I was like,
Say no more.
shit. But it was cool. We've gotten really close. And yeah, we're going to talk with Dan Schlessel, who runs Stand Up Records. My album's coming out in October. We might start filming in October. I think he might fly out, which I'm kind of jumping ahead. I'm glad that we're trying to be more organized, but I'm going to jump ahead a little bit because he was going to come out to meet me in Indiana on a Sunday. So I had a Sunday and a Monday in Indiana, and then a Tuesday off, and then a Wednesday, Thursday in Chicago. This is in mid-October. I'm going to be out there.
Yeah.
And then a Friday and a Saturday in the middle of Illinois somewhere. But that has the Indiana stuff canceled.
Oh.
So I'm like working with Jess from Bob and Tom. And that's another thing. I'm jumping ahead again. I'm going to be back on the Bob and Tom show, which
Right.
was awesome for me last time. It'll be
Super
awesome for me
exciting.
again. Bob and Tom is like a really big show in the Midwest. It's kind of like Howard Stern, but for the Midwest. They're very, very popular, and it's been really good for me. I have like a big following in the Midwest now because of Bob and Tom. It's awesome. That's my first real like credit, like a thing that they put on flyers. That,
You'll hear about it again.
Yeah. But now I'm kind of scrambling to find a Sunday and a Monday.
In Indiana.
No, that's the thing, is because I'm going to rent a car anyway.
Yeah.
And like, this is what I've been doing. Like, I fly into a place, I'll rent a car, and then I'll
Drive.
fly out of Chicago. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I'm going to go where people want me to go and where I already have connections. So I'm thinking about going to Knoxville again. I might go to Tennessee. I might try to do a Sunday in Knoxville, and then maybe a Monday in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And then head up, do the Bob and Tom thing, which is going to be tough because I got to be there at like 6 a.m. on Tuesday. I know, but it's all good. So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and he might come with me. That's the thing. That's what I was trying to say.
Well,
so the documentary guy might come with me. So
do all of that.
Yeah, and it's crazy because what we're talking about is like our initial idea, and it's been kind of reshaped, was like a road documentary or whatever, like him kind of following me on the road. But that's been done like so many times. And so what I think we're going to mostly look at is really kind of breaking down like this journey that I've taken from, on the streets, homeless, to where I'm at now, and exploring the good and bad parts to both of those parts of my life.
Right.
I don't want to make something where it's like, oh, I was homeless, like it was so sad and everything sucked, and now I'm middle class and everything's great, because that's way too simple and stupid.
You're going to talk about the good parts of being homeless?
Yeah.
Like, which ones?
Like the love that I had for people that were around me.
Yeah.
And like the wonder that I woke up with some days, and like amazing stuff that happened and beautiful people that I met. Yeah. Like there's parts of it, like obviously, like there's parts of it that were boring, and there's parts of it that were dangerous, and there's parts of it that were like stupid.
Right.
But like I hate that we look at it like black and white. Like I was homeless, that was bad, and now I'm middle class.
Yeah.
This is good. You understand that.
Well, I think that being homeless, it is bad. Like, I don't think that you can't glamorize, or like, I think that you can say that because you are middle class now. If you were still homeless, and doing comedy, it would probably be, different.
I'm not trying to say that it was good
Like
when I was unhoused.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to let
It's not
people
all-
know, because I think certain people think it was worse than it was, and certain people think it wasn't as bad as it was. Because I hear people that are like, oh, like it's not that bad anymore.
Yeah.
Like they got da-da-da-da, they got da-da-da. And it's like, no, it is that bad. And I hear other people, it's like, oh my God, like how could you live like that?
Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
like you kind of missed me with that shit. You know what I mean?
There are a few different like TikTok people who who go around and in different cities, and like basically just like talking to people who are living on the street, and what their story is, and like keeping up with them, and like basically like just putting humanizing them.
Yeah.
Like, because I think that a lot of times it's very easy to see someone on the street and dehumanize them.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if that part is shedding a light on like the people who are there, like I think that's important.
Yeah. And do you feel like they're intending to humanize people, but do you think that's what people are watching or feeling about it?
Yeah, I think I mean, obviously not everyone. I can't speak for everyone, but I think that it's when you see someone in addiction, but then they're also like able to speak and they're and capture you or themselves, and they're just still like just a regular person, and like because how many times do people like stop and like talk to an addict on the street?
I like that, and I'm glad that that's what you get from it. But I
don't think that it's not negative.
I worry. It's like the thing with, I don't do it anymore, but like I used to love watching cops, especially when I was doing like illegal shit all the time. And like I have that joke. I have a joke. I do it all the time. It's like it's honestly one of those jokes that kind of made my career, is this joke about watching cops in jail. Like, and that's what we did. We would sit around and watch cops. And it was honestly, there's another thing. So homelessness and jail, and how I found joy in both those experiences And this is the thing too. So that when I experienced joy when I was homeless, and when I was experienced joy when I was incarcerated, that joy meant more. That joy meant so much more than the joy that I experienced today. Because I experienced like a lot more joy. You know what I mean? It meant more because it was rarefied. Because was some parts of it that were so hard, especially being incarcerated.
Yeah.
Like when I'm locked up, like that was like I was hungry all the time. Like it was terrible, you know. And then to have like a moment where I could just be like a moment of like peace and like serenity and laughter.
Yeah.
And you know that gets down to the reason I do comedy at all is because it connects me to those moments. You know, like sometimes I'm up on stage and I'll get like a big laugh, and I remember like being locked up and just talking shit or whatever. And it's messed up because a lot of it, like I would never tell jokes like I did, because when you're locked up, man, you're saying some foul shit to people, and like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Nobody's getting canceled. You know what I mean? Like it was wild. But the show Cops itself now, like now that I'm like middle class and I watch that shit,
If you
it makes me
throw
so
into
sad.
our face one more time that you are middle class, I
What?
swear
You're
to
middle class too. I know where you live.
God. Okay.
You
Yeah.
drive a
but
fucking.
like I don't. But
you drive like a Volkswagen SUV.
Yeah. But I don't like.
You don't think you're middle class?
I work at a Montessori
ISIS,
school.
are you middle class? Yeah, you work at a Montessori.
Damn right I do.
ISIS. What's your
Are
class?
you middle class? How much money do you have? Tell us. We asked Nate. Now tell us. ISIS.
Well,
No, we're just kidding.
only
You don't
being
have to tell.
23.
She's like, I haven't figured out what class I
I lived
am
with my
yet.
parents for a long time. My parents are like upper middle class. They are doing great. My dad's retired military. So me personally, I would say I'm definitely at poverty line until I just got these jobs, because I went about maybe 6 months without working. So when I moved here, I moved for a job working at an outreach, and now I'm working for an AIM.
Yeah.
But I was living with my parents, so
That's different.
I'm taken
Yeah.
care of. But me personally, I'm getting to middle class. I was just unemployed for half a year,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's the thing is important, because you just reminded me of something. And even when I was like at my worst and getting locked up and being on the streets and shit like that, I could still run to my mom's house
Right.
and clean up every once in a while. And I did that shit all the time. Like maybe like twice a month. Like I'd go out, I'd be gone for like a week and a half, and I'd go and I'd stay at my mom's house for a couple days. And a lot of people don't have that opportunity. And I'm so grateful that I did.
I never like. I do like Josh and I, because we still have like our finances are together. So,
Mm-hmm.
but like,
Josh is her husband.
My
It's
husband.
not her husband. It's complicated.
well, he is my husband, but like only on paper.
okay.
Yeah.
But we do live together, and our finances are
But
together,
no-
and we do have kids together. And he is currently in Utah, which I'll probably have to go pick him up from the airport. But
We should probably nail that down.
Matt's calling.
No, Mark Bowen's calling. I love Mark.
But yeah, like, so I'm always surprised. Like, oh, we made that much money? That's crazy. But aside from money, what would you consider? Like, what makes somebody like middle class? Because you just said, oh, you drive a Volkswagen, and I've seen your house. What else? I would say someone's doing okay if they have they're middle class if they have a Costco membership.
Yeah. If you want to break, I mean, to me, like middle class means that you could handle like at least a small catastrophe and you'd still be okay.
Yeah.
So like,
If a pipe broke, I would be like
Yeah.
one pipe, and that I would be okay.
no, because
I'm telling you.
Yeah, no,
Like,
no.
I'm telling you.
No, because this is the thing: is that if a pipe broke at your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have multiple people that you could call that would let you stay with them
Yeah.
with your kids.
Yes.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is like middle class isn't just like an amount of money. It's like a
Right, that's what I'm
struct,
saying.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah.
And you
So,
have a
like,
Costco membership.
I don't. Well, yeah, I do. I'm
do.
on part of the family membership. Yeah. And having like a family membership at Costco is even more middle class.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You know,
that's
that's
what
almost
I'm saying.
upper middle class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, so that's I'm being facetious. I'm joking.
Yeah. I
Oh my fucking god! I am kidding.
mad at me.
I am kidding.
I couldn't tell. I was.
And I have a kayak too. I feel like
That's
that makes me
definitely
super
middle
duper
class.
uppity.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
actually, I have 2 kayaks.
Yeah.
But one week.
If you have a canoe full of pine needles, you might be poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we have 3 kayaks. One doesn't work. One I broke because I accidentally.
That's because of your roots.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, no, it's because I.
How's your backyard look? Is it bad?
No, my backyard. No. I would never.
Okay.
My backyard is. We
Okay,
do have a
good.
trampoline, and we do have a kayak that has been in the backyard for
Yeah.
2 years. But it's broken because I accidentally dropped it off the back of the truck.
For the record, I want to say this. Like, I'm not trying to move on, but we should move on because me and Jess were like, we kind of feel reinvigorated about the podcast because me and Jess did have like a big argument, like 3 episodes ago or
We
whatever.
didn't have a big argument.
It wasn't that big of an argument, but we're like, oh yeah, like I'm kind of buying in. I'm like, let's get reorganized, and we wrote out this thing, and we're just like talking about like class, and I'm really into it. The fact that we haven't really gotten any of this shit.
Okay. All right.
That's good. No, I like it.
No, yeah, that's why you
I'm
brought
fired
up.
for that.
Okay, move on.
I'm not moving on.
Talk about Olympia.
You fucking move on.
Talk about Olympia.
Tell everybody about that dope ass show in Olympia that we did together.
Well, we had 2 different experiences. Because
I'm into this. Let's talk about it.
no, I had as far as we did a show together in Olympia at Nicole's bar, which was awesome. The place everybody was there. All of Olympia showed up for you. For us, they were excited. Some of them even listened to the podcast, which was really fun. But it was a. Oh, it's my time to wake up. It was really fun to see everyone super excited about you and
Yeah.
you know.
Is that your first time doing like just a regular show with me in Olympia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten to see. I don't think we've done.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vibe for sure.
Yeah, and it was an awesome show too. And Zane was there.
Yeah, she did great. You did really well too. So did Mark. Mark did really well too up top.
Yeah.
It was a fun show. I think I booked you on that for a couple reasons. Is I think you do well at comedy. I know that there's people there that like the podcast. There's a lot of people in Olympia because that's where a lot of my following is in Olympia.
2 braids.
Yeah, and that dude's rad. That shit is wild. We had some dudes. I hope they're listening to this. They came out from the Skokomish.
Yeah.
A couple squawks and
They took the day, they took the day off of work.
Yeah, they took the day off of work.
They were sick
Yeah. That was really cool.
and couldn't go to work. I'm like, that's so funny. No, they were awesome, and then everyone bought your T-shirts, and then they
We had a really good time, and when doing shows in Olympia is really hard for me. And Jess, you saw my set. It's like I have to do. Like people say they don't care. They're like, oh, we like all the jokes. We like the old jokes. We don't care what you do. And I'm like, I care. And so I'm going into my notes that has like new jokes, and I'm on like a Google Drive for like my old email account. Because I used to get set lists, and I would take a picture of them and I'd save them to my Google Drive. And I'm looking at these set lists, and sure enough, like I found some gold in there.
Yeah.
That like, because there's jokes that I tried to do when I was 1.5 years into comedy. Like you can write jokes that are actually above your skill level, like jokes that you don't know how to land, like you don't know how to set them up, you don't know how to do that cadence, you don't know how to make that, you don't know how to make that transition. But now, like the way I understand stand up now, that I can do some of those, and so I was really happy.
Yeah.
And then we went out to Denny's afterwards and tried.
You tried to go to Denny's.
I tried to go to Denny's. I'm driving. My mom was out of town, so I'm driving my mom's car, and I'm pulling out, about to get on the freeway in Olympia, and all of a sudden, like the engine shuts off on my car because I have run out of gas. And I remember last episode driving here to interview Nate, I was like, I gotta get gas after this episode.
Yeah.
And then what happened is it's not that I forgot to get gas.
Right.
It's just that I remembered 2,000 other things. Does that make sense?
Did you do any of the other 2000?
That's not important.
Okay.
That's not important.
Yeah. And then who came to your rescue?
My wife, but I didn't need her to because I should have just called you because you were already there.
Literally, I felt so bad.
Yeah.
Because, I'm like, I was right down the street.
And I was mad because Brittany went and bought a new gas can when I got good gas at the house for the mower.
God,
you can put mower gas in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, mower gas is not no mix. I got weed eater gas and it's clearly marked. So.
And she brought she went and got
She went and bought a new gas can and it's one of the stupid ones.
And then filled it up.
Do you know about these new
back
gas
to
cans with the thing?
Pants around.
You gotta this isn't that kind of podcast.
I know.
Yeah, we're not doing cam girl stuff.
Confused.
There's a thing and you gotta jam it's
it's like you gotta pull it out and then
yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. You know what's funny is there are folks that listen to this that are gonna be like they hate those gas cans too.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, it's not just I know Trey's not here to. You're like, oh, I know you're looking at ISIS to get
ISIS
that.
doesn't know.
No, and you're
Yes,
like,
I've totally heard of that before. I hate them too.
You do not. You're
does.
full of shit.
she does know what you're talking about.
No, I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah, me too.
I knew this was gonna happen. I want
someone who will agree with my.
Yeah, you're like, oh, big brother. I don't know anything about gas cans. ISIS, this is not gonna work.
This one time we in Kentucky when we first got to Fort Knox, we got a U-Haul. And I went to go drop it off, put the keys in the thing, and then forgot to fill up the gas tank.
Ooh,
which,
that's so expensive if
it's
they
like
fill it up.
$15 a gallon.
Oh my God.
So I was like, fuck. And so I didn't know where I was because I'd never, we literally just moved. I was by myself. Josh was at home with Izzy. And so I'm like trying to find a place to get like a gas so that I can fill up.
Yeah.
And I can only find 1 gallon gas cans for this fucking U-Haul. And so like I get to, and
that shit's got like a 20-gallon tank,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it's so stupid.
Jiminy Christmas.
so I go back to the U-Haul place and I am filling up the gas tank. Like
1 gallon at a time, back and forth? Like you were
Next-
carrying water from a well?
I only had 2 because I went to the gas station. I could only find 2. And then I turn around. Next thing I know, I turn around and I'm surrounded by like 4 of, Kentucky's finest. Because they were like, hey.
The cops?
Yeah.
4 of them?
They were like, what the hell are you doing?
Must have been a slow day for crime.
It
They're
was-
worried about...
It was Radcliffe, Kentucky. Yeah, there's not a
my
lot going
God,
on.
yeah.
So, no, there's not
it
much.
does seem pretty suspect.
Yeah, it looked like I was siphoning gas out of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
U-Haul. Instead, I was putting gas into the U-Haul.
Did you explain to them what was
I
going
was like,
on?
I'm trying. I was like, I'll just leave it here.
And then they moved on.
Yeah.
That must be, That's,
Yeah. No, I put the
there.
I put the gas cans in the back of the U-Haul and then just
Yeah.
left.
I've been...
Did not give a shit.
The forgetfulness has
Yeah.
been something I've been struggling with lately.
Yeah.
And it's because last night was day 7 of like a 7-day run. If you count me judging the competition on Tuesday,
Yeah.
that I've just been
Going.
going.
Yeah. Well,
And it's cool because I honestly, fuck it, I'll talk about it. I've made more money in this last 7-day period than I ever have in comedy.
yeah.
And
That's fantastic.
no, it's really, really good because I really need it because I have to buy plane tickets and airfare and I have to reorder T-shirts. But I have to reorder T-shirts because I've been selling a lot of T-shirts. And and the Bob and Tom stuff is happening, and then Friday. So Thursday we were in Olympia. Friday I went out to Hood River with Zane, and I don't know. Did you see the social media stuff that I talked about it?
No,
I'm good. I'm glad you didn't read it because I can talk about it on the podcast now. But I had I think it was the best set that I've ever had. And,
Yeah.
And that's a really, I'm sure, I think I called you and I told
Yeah.
you. I was like, it's a really strange feeling because right after it happened, I was like, I think that's the best that I've ever done. And then 3 days after that, I was like, yeah, that was
Just
probably
because it was the audience is hot, like you
It's
were.
just everything. It can't just be a hot audience because like sometimes there'll be a really hot crowd, and honestly, I can get a little bit lazy sometimes, and like because with a crowd so hot that you can get away with like a lot. Like you don't have to be like the tightest dude around or whatever. But yeah, just build. I remember I went out there and first off, so Bo Jones, who's a great guy, like this is the second time I've done it. It's been a year, and I'm in these rotations at all these shows out there. So every year I do the show. I love it out there. Me and Zane, and I love Zane too. Not just a good, promising newer comedian, but also a great hang. She cracks me up. She's so
awesome.
funny off stage,
Smart.
which makes me wonder like how far like it's gonna go for her. If the business part doesn't chew her up, she should be fucking fine.
Are you kidding me? She's one of the best
I know.
producers. Like she sells out shows.
I know, but no, I'm still saying that there's the other part too.
Yeah.
That like the higher you fly, the farther you fall sometimes,
Yeah.
And anybody who gets chewed up by comedy even a little bit, sometimes people are like, you know what, screw it. Like this isn't worth it. I have those feelings all the time where I'm like, is this worth it? Like I can't stop because I'm horribly addicted to stand-up comedy. But yeah, I've talked about this before. Sometimes I wish I didn't start. But anyway, I'm out there. The show's great, pretty packed, like a lot of people, good energy. People remember me from last time and they're excited, and they brought their friends to come see me because they liked me the time before. So it's people that they already know what to expect. They probably know that like I'm in recovery and stuff like that. And I did my opener with the belly tattoo, and I was like, man, that was a good pop on that. And then I go into the next joke, and I'm like, man, that was a pop on that too. And then I've been switching up my act. So I do the jail stuff, and then I go into the fat sleep apnea. I hit that, and then pop, 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 and it's like building up. And then I went into that freaking truck joke.
Yeah.
And the lady popping out of the cake and the nips and getting blown by a dude. This is a lot of information for you, Isis, but this is all part of my act. And I'm not gay. Times are tough. And when I hit that truck joke in like a rural area, and I already had that energy up, and it was just, I was looking out, and I was like, this is it. I was like, I think that is and looking out the crowd and seeing like a lot of people like crying and like wiping tears out of their eyes.
Crying.
Seeing people like doubled over, like leaning on their partners, people pounding on the tables, people were standing up randomly, and like just people just like losing their shit, like more than laughter. And I've hit in those spots before here and there, but like I did that, and then I brought it back down, and then I brought it up again with like the big people sex stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's weird because like I was going so hard, and I was like, and then the most amazing shit, I was like, I had this instinct. I was like, I need to take my foot off the gas for a second and let people compose themselves before I do my closer. And then I hit my closer, and I was like, well, that's a show. And it's funny because I know you do comedy, and I see the way you're looking at me, and you know what I'm talking about because you've had those. You've been doing it long enough. Did you hear my stomach growl? A little bit. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, there have been times like where like I've done a show where I'll get a laugh, and like I actually get like cold chills on stage. Where I'm like, oh, Oh, I can't believe I just did that. Can't believe that just worked.
When I got off stage, so like Bo's, I go off to the right, and Bo's walking on stage, and he looked at me, and I can't remember what he said to me, but I remember just being like, "Holy shit, dude!"
Yeah.
Like that was, you know, that was wild. And then, you know, I just had talked about this with Zane. I got to sell T-shirts, and it was weird. I didn't sell that many T-shirts, which is whatever. That's fine. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. But like, I remember like when I'm back in the car and I'm talking to Zane's with me, and I am also concerned because I have to come down from that. But it was pretty easy because I had people in the car with me. That would have been a tough one to just get in the car.
Yeah.
And just drive. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and I talked about it online, and I think people, even people that don't do comedy, that like watch a lot of comedy, I don't know how much they understand about like structures and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think people understand that like how passionate I am about this art form, and that I'm not going to say that I've mastered stand-up. Like I feel like, but that is the level of comedy that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And to know that I'm capable of it gets me off. I just feel like fucking.
That's awesome.
Feels awesome. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And then immediately after, and then that was day 3.
Yeah.
And then last night was day 7. And it's been good shows.
Yeah.
Straight through. And
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been like tripping. Tuesday I don't count because I've been a judge in the.
Well, you are counting it because it's part of the 7.
It is. I shouldn't though.
You are counting.
Because actually it'd be 8 days because I was a judge the other Tuesday too.
Right.
So I'm judging the Nate Jackson's funniest MFer contest.
Yes.
And that's been fun.
This was week 2.
Week 2, yeah. So 20 comics doing 3 minutes.
I'm competing next week.
Oh, let's go! I wish I was here, but I'm not going to be here. So
I wonder who the judges are going to be.
I don't know. I'm kind of glad I'm not. I'm kind of glad I'm not judging that one.
Yeah, me too. Actually.
Yeah, it would have been weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard because
I love it.
Yeah. I do to a point. And
Yeah.
I think I was very fair. And I was really impressed with the level of comedy. It's hard to do 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's weird. It's easier to do 5 in a weird way. Even for newer comics, like 3 minutes is a short open mic spot. Mm-hmm. And to do like your best stuff and try to like make a set work and like find jokes that like match together is tough, but like people did well. I thought the best comics did the best. I mean, I thought the comics that did the best like
Went forward.
That's
Good.
I thought all the judges have been fair. It's
Yeah.
fun giving people feedback. Mm-hmm. Nate didn't ask me to do this, but I wrote notes for people. Mm-hmm. I think a couple people didn't want them because they were sour.
Who?
And I get that. Just
Last week?
comics.
Oh.
Yeah. Comics
Oh, well.
that didn't.
If you, I mean, that's ridiculous, but okay.
You've done competitions.
Yeah, but if a comic who was judging that competition gave me feedback in
Yeah.
written form,
Yeah.
I would take it. I would.
Right. No, that's the thing is I'm getting them right after they get that. They
So
get
what?
burnt.
You're an adult. You're in a competition.
Oh my God. I
Absolutely.
disagree.
You act. Are you kidding? You think that like it's okay to have a temper tantrum?
I think it's
when you get
okay
off
to not
stage?
want to talk to people. And I
I
nobody
think
threw a temper
I think
tantrum.
that I think that this is a professional setting and you should act professional.
Buck up.
Yeah, absolutely. Suck it the fuck up.
See, I think it's
You knew that
okay.
losing was a part of this.
Yeah. But after you just find out that you didn't move on. Like that's what I think happened is they were just really sad in that moment.
Yeah.
And somebody had like I can't remember her name, but she read my feedback and she was like, "What do you mean by this?" And what I wrote, like my main thing with newer comics is just like, I just wrote like stage time.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was 6 comics that's what I wrote in really big letters. I was like, stage time, stage time, stage
Really?
time.
Well,
Yeah. And no, she asked me, she was like, what kind of stage time? And I was like, any,
all of it.
all of it,
Yeah.
anything, you know, but I don't know, whatever. I don't care.
No, I've seen.
I gave people not. That's the other thing too. Is I told him, I made it clear. Like, if you don't want my feedback, that's
Right.
awesome. Like, I totally understand because, this is perfect to illustrate my point. There's this dude in Seattle comedy, and he's not a bad guy. But I was so pissed at him, right? Because I applied for this thing. I hit the mic. I applied for this thing, another comedy competition thing.
Yeah.
And I sent him a set, and he was like, "Hey, we're probably not, maybe next year, but probably not this year." And I was like, kind of bummed out, right? But I was like, whatever, I'll just book something else. I was probably like 5 years in or something like that, 4 years in. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm sorry. If you want some feedback, though, I can give it to you." And I was like, "No, I understand, and no feedback required. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of know where I'm at right now." Da da da. And then he sent me back like feedback, and it was fucking bullshit.
Oh yeah.
The shit that he sent me. And he told me, right, this is the shit, and it still pisses me off, right? Because I have a lane, there's like a way I do comedy, and his feedback was essentially like, I've seen this before. But the thing is that he hadn't, because they were all new jokes.
Right.
It's just, it was a, like, yeah, it was a joke about meth, jail, and being a dad, but it was a different joke about meth, a different joke about jail, and a different joke about being a dad.
Yeah.
Because that's what I wanted to do in that thing. I wanted to be like, okay, here's this style of comedy. There's this, like, I designed this shit to, like,
You don't get it, man.
yeah, you don't get it.
You don't get me.
Yeah, I want to say his name, but I won't because he's like retired now. So.
No, I've seen comics in competitions do the competition and then literally just lose their shit.
It's
Like
not.
get like I understand like
They shouldn't exist.
what competition?
No, comedy competitions. There's nothing we can do about it. It's a lot like global warming.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
terrifying.
like-
Sam's afraid of them.
Yeah. They're terrifying. I'm afraid of them, and there's nothing we can do.
They exist.
And there's good ones and there's bad ones. I don't know why there's not like a good global warming, but I guess it is nice having like a warm day in September or something.
Yeah.
But it puts butts in seats, and a lot of times it's a good way to get a shitload of comics to do their best work, and then you don't have to pay them.
Well, and you can audition everybody.
And yeah, that is true.
Like,
you know what? That's a good point.
I'm watching. You know.
Yeah, that is a good point. Jess is watching.
Well,
so.
no, it doesn't matter if I'm watching, but people. You
No,
know,
it matters. You book stuff. You're a booker. Do you remember?
I do.
Yeah,
I
it's
do.
better. Would you rather watch them in a competition or have them message you?
Depends on how long the competition is.
Shout out. I want to give some people a shout out real quick. I already talked about her a little bit, but Zanae Aquino, very promising young comic. Very happy with. I worked last night with Adam Tiller. I've been on. He has a great podcast that he just stopped doing. Called Fathom and Friends, but you can hear the old episodes. And also, he did an interview with me, and it's one of the podcast interviews I'm more proud of than other ones.
He also did an interview with me.
I'm sure, must have been a slow week. Times are tough all around,
Yep. Yeah, it was the reason he shut the
Any port in
the
a storm,
podcast
huh?
down.
Any port in a storm.
Yes.
Lynette Manning. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Lynette, Adam Tiller did great last night. Lynette Manning did a host set that I was so impressed by.
Yeah. Of course.
It was, I know you guys don't get along,
Right.
but it was.
She's just featuring at my bar on Saturday. That's how much we disagree with each other.
It's a thing about saving face. Like, she doesn't like Lynette. There's like a old beef thing.
Yeah.
Because they
we have
they both want all of me,
Yeah.
but they can't get it.
Lynette,
You know?
please.
I was driving, so my wife came. My wife came with us to the show in Chehalis.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how we're planning that tour to Montana with me, you, and Lynette, and
Yeah.
how it's such a great mix because it's like Lynette's like a sister, and I'm in like a loveless marriage with Jess. And Brittany laughed so hard. My actual wife was like, really, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
I love Lynette. I
I
love
know you
Lynette
do.
more than you love Lynette, I bet.
Probably.
Probably
Well, I don't know.
too.
It's
I
hard
do
to
love
do.
Lynette. It's she's,
I've known her for longer.
you have.
Yeah.
Lynette and I do end up like I always say, she's my, the person you either have Lynette or me. Like you don't have both of us on a show, like rarely. So I'm really excited.
The tour is going to be awesome. I think we're going to be good. And
It's
you and
gonna be
Lynette,
so amazing.
I think we'll be all right. You and Lynette can share a room, and I think we'll actually do okay with money. We just got to figure it out a little bit because I want to make sure that
Well,
we're
with
definitely
both of us, with all of us being middle class,
yeah. It
I
doesn't
think
really
we'll go.
matter.
I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, my wife, Brittany.
My wife. Oh my god.
Finished her last class. Like she's
Wow,
got her
yay.
bachelor's degree. Hit one of those
What are
buttons
those
on there.
Not the cricket one.
Yeah.
Good job, Brittany.
You hit the right button.
That's awesome. You can turn it off.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna keep going. Oh, it stops on its own.
Oh
Thank God.
shit! I just knew that it fucking turned off on
it
her.
goes off, yeah.
She was like, "No, I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not touching shit."
it was.
That's amazing, Brittany.
Yeah, it
Good
was
job.
cool, and we'll have to get her back in here. And
Yeah. I also talked to Lynette about doing the podcast, and she said she would like to. We just have
yeah,
to.
maybe next week.
We just have to figure out
Yeah.
a time that works. Well, I think that Lynette has to plan more than
Oh yeah, she definitely
Like, it's
does. Yeah, she has a
child. And
job where they want her there.
Yeah. And I love Zanae as well. I love Zanae. She runs a show.
I'd like to get her in here too.
She's so freaking funny, just naturally. Super duper smart. She runs the I think we talked about it last week. Fun and Flirty at the bar.
Yeah,
Once a month on Thursdays, and actually we talked when we were in Olympia about her doing other stuff at the bar, and I'm like, girlfriend, whatever you have in mind, I am down for because people are here for what you are creating. So
yeah,
let's do some stuff.
yeah. She has. She's in like this stream of like Seattle artists right now, and it's not just in comedy; it's everywhere in all different disciplines. Where, her, Emmett Montgomery, Derek Sheen,
Also doing things at the bar.
yeah. Also, yeah. So me and Emmett are doing a thing, and we're doing Dead Mom, Dead Dad, Dead Dog, a comedy show about grief and sadness, which is like pretty heavy stuff. We're planning that right now. It's gonna be cool.
Derek and Emmett are doing
The dungeon, right? The friendship dungeon. Yeah, that makes me happy.
I think the first one is this Saturday.
Oh, really? You know what's
It's
funny?
after the Hampton show.
I might. What time does it start? Do you know?
I think it's not until midnight.
Really?
He's doing late,
oh
late,
my
late.
God! You know what? I might make it over for that because Saturday I think I'm in Redmond.
I have Lynette will be at the bar on Saturday with Hampton Young.
I think I'll come by. I think I'll come by because I like to come to Capitol Hill and eat late night too. So that your bar is in like the best spot. That's like my favorite place in Seattle.
Right
like I
across.
love Capitol Hill.
You can go get a milkshake and a burger.
They
and
got
come on
Korean
over.
joint. They got Korean joint across the street too. It used to be a Japanese joint, but now it's a Korean joint. You know what's funny is I think it was always a Korean joint, but I think they were selling like there's a lot of I found this out. There's a lot of teriyaki restaurants that are ran and operated by like Korean folks.
Yeah.
But it's funny because like Korean cuisine is like a lot more popular now than it was. And anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got to get out of here. I wanted to tell you this. It says on the thing, giving the ladies a ride.
I saw that. Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
Yeah. It was cool. Me and Adam were getting off that ferry. It was like midnight in Anacortes. And I looked over at these like two ladies. They had some face tattoos. You can tell that they have been through some stuff or whatever. I don't know. I just caught a vibe from them, and they kind of like looked back at me and smiled, and I was like, they're not into me. This is weird.
Yeah.
But then I figured it out, and they needed a ride. They were like stuck there, and they didn't want to have to they didn't have money for a taxi or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Is there any way that we could get a ride?" And I was like, "I got you. And we had a good ride, and one of them is supposed to go to detox in a couple days.
Yeah.
And the other one is caught up too, pretty good in that stuff. But we had a good talk. I showed him a comedy clip of mine because I love it when I meet people that are. I love drug users more than I love other people, and I love people in recovery. I think that's amazing. But I also have a lot of love for people that are still using.
Yeah.
And it was cool. They got a kick out of the comedy stuff, but it was also for me. I don't know. That's after 7 days of comedy and the highest heights of Hood River to remember. It's don't forget that this is and it's weird because I'm not I'm a little bit spiritual, but sometimes I think that people, you get those chunks in your life. They were there for a reason.
Yeah.
And I needed to give them a ride, and I needed to talk to them, and I needed to hear what they needed to hear me. And more than anything, though, I think I needed to hear them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's funny. I threw them $20 too. They didn't ask for that.
How much money did you give them?
$20. Yeah. Because I did. I've been doing good. And it's funny because I know when I give it to them too, people feel a certain way about it because it's oh, they're probably going to buy drugs with that, and I'm like, maybe, and maybe they won't, and maybe it's not up to me what they do, But I don't know. It was really fucking special. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are, yeah. I don't look at people in active addiction that way. There was a big thing that came out yesterday with a teacher who showed up
Drunk, the third grade teacher?
Yeah, and you laugh. That. It's not it makes everyone's oh, it's really funny. It's not fucking funny.
It's sad.
That's a person that's who's sick, who needs help, and who was just embarrassed. And I'm so I'm that could have.
The stigma, what you're talking about and that shit, the stigma though. Once you remove that and people can be honest, I think it makes it easier. Do you know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
So that teacher, she fucked up and it's embarrassing and it's blowing up online because people look at it and they're that's so embarrassing. But if you look at it like a medical condition, which addiction is, if she came to school and she had a cough and they asked her to leave.
Yeah.
That's not embarrassing, but she came to school and got drunk and got shit canned and arrested.
Yeah.
And these women on the ferry, they're caught up in the whole fentanyl, heroin scene. But to me, I don't feel that's embarrassing. But also you got to watch your shit,
Hold on. No. I think what I was saying was that for the way that I don't look at it it makes my stomach hurt.
Oh yeah. So it makes you anxious.
I'm there by that's me.
Oh yeah.
I can't. I don't. I'm oh, get me away from it.
Because there's that.
I wouldn't want it in my car.
Yeah. Do you remember that saying? Have you ever heard that in recovery? We all have one day or whatever. But I could look at it I'm 15 years away from my last drink, or I could be 10 minutes from my next one.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think too with me, and I don't know if it's like this for you, but I'm entranced by it. It's not that it's not I want to get high, but I miss a certain part of that energy, and I know I don't know how to describe that to you right now without sounding weird and stupid. And
It's
maybe
just
it
the
is
chaos.
weird and stupid, but like talking with those women and like it's weird because I don't get to talk with other people like that. Like I don't get to, like they were telling me I was like, you guys got a good spot tonight. You guys feeling all right? Like, is it safe and stuff like that? Like I was just asking, and they go, yeah, it's Anacortes. Ain't nobody that scary in Anacortes. I was like, that's true, and I don't know. Like there's like a language thing that I miss and
You
people
feel
that
like
I
you're a
miss.
part of something.
I feel like I got rescued, and I feel like I'm embarrassed to be middle class, not to bring this back. Like to me, it's
Yeah.
like it's kind of, and especially because most of my comedy is about like addiction, homelessness, and jail. And
Yeah.
then I'm going home and strapping on my CPAP and laying on my body pillow.
You have a maybe like I don't want to say a fantasy bond, but a bond with your drug addiction, like whereas like I want to like I'm like, ooh, I want to disassociate from like you want people to like that's part of your culture, that's part of who you are. You have your own language, you have your own.
Like I said, I love drug users.
Yeah,
I do. I just
like
do.
whereas like my alcoholism, I'm like, ooh, God, get me the fuck away from that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess it's a different vibe because
Yeah.
there are times where I feel like what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel that? Do you feel like what I'm talking about? Do you ever feel that bond with people or?
No, I don't think so. I think that the nature of drug use is that you do, you hide with a person. Like drug use is hidden, so you guys have to go together. Whereas alcoholism,
I just figured it out. Because your thing was alcohol,
yeah, we
and
have
so
two
it
different.
doesn't have
It's
like
not the
so
same
like
thing.
you don't have. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like
yeah,
mine,
no, I get it.
we could do it everywhere. Like you have, like you guys, drug users are. It's a much more intimate. It's a much more like you guys have to
Yeah.
sneak around because,
Yeah.
where alcoholism is, it's wherever I can do it. I can do it anywhere.
In your car.
Yeah, everywhere. It's a social game.
Yeah, in your car.
But you can also isolate
At the school you work at, you can drink there too.
Oh man, that's
be
so
careful.
fucking sad. Well, the thing is like
Dude, it was so sad how she got busted because the cop is like, they're like, this cup smells like wine, and she was like, it's
couldn't
from
even-
last night.
I couldn't watch
Oh,
it.
I get it. You brought your wine cup from last night to school with you. Good call. Yeah, this shit was sad.
Dude, yeah, what's fucked up? Like I can watch some dead baby stuff all day long, but show me an intoxicated third grade teacher, and I'm like, oh God, no, please, I can't. Not my.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so. I don't want to look.
I had a time. I know we're kind of running low on time, but I was on probation, right? And I literally every 2 weeks I'd have to meet my probation officer, and I was doing so good. Like I wasn't drinking or smoking weed even or whatever. And then I don't know what. No, I was drinking all the time because you could pass you ways or whatever. And it was like 2 days before, and it doesn't because back then now they test for alcohol. They can see alcohol like 3 or 4 days it passed in your system, but they couldn't do that then. They didn't have the test for it then. And I think I was meeting my PO on a Thursday, and I think I went out and got drunk on a Tuesday. And for some reason, when I was drunk, for some reason, I know why I did this, but I wound up going out to Yelm and fucking getting a bunch of meth and shit. And I was like, because I don't like, and it was the weirdest shit ever. And then I went into my PO's office, right? And I was like,
It's the weirdest shit ever.
I know, I can't believe that happened to me.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, I've been up for like 2 days, and I know that I am talking like a mile a minute. And I'm telling her like how good I'm doing, and like, oh man, and how she's like the best probation officer, and like I really feel like
she's just
everything
like,
is coming into focus, and I'm like, man, I am smooth as silk. And she was like, that's
Listen to this.
yeah, she was like, oh, that's great, Sam. And then she handed me a slip that said report for UA.
Yeah.
And I knew, I was like, and then it's funny because then I called my mom. I was like, they're going to lock me up. I'm sorry, but I relapsed a couple days ago. And like, can I have like $15? Because I wanted to get one of those drinks to help me.
Yeah,
like I was trying to
get rid of your
pass this UA. And I was funny because I knew I had 24 hours to complete the UA. And I think I went in there. So I'm slamming these drinks. I'm doing a bunch of niacin and shit like that. And like, I think I took it 23 hours and 55 minutes after I had gotten the slip. And I pissed hot. And it's stupid because I hadn't done meth in like fucking 6 months.
That is stupid.
And then I do it one day before I know I have to meet my PO.
Yeah.
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 I'm
Yeah.
still mad at myself. And then also, get this, right? I was trying to the jail was too crowded and they were going to let me out early. And then the freaking prosecutor, when they have an ERH, like an early release hearing, and he's in the courtroom and they were like, we're really worried about Mr. Miller, you know. He doesn't have any violent stuff on his record, but I've talked to multiple officers that say that he is a threat to the community. And his last UA tested positive for methamphetamine. And
Wow.
I was like, that was the first time in 6 months. And Judge Dubason's like, shut up, Sam. Like, we're still going to let you out. And they did. And then I wound up doing meth.
Yeah.
High five.
No. No high fives for meth.
One more meth.
Put
Yeah.
him to a head shrinker.
Yeah.
That's fine. Well, I'm glad that's not my life anymore.
I miss it every day. Isis, how you feeling?
Sorry about this.
How's the vibe in here?
Good.
Great.
I heard a ring-a-ding.
Great.
Someone's coming in the door
Great.
at Nate Jackson.
You got a Zoom. You get a Zoom call.
I want to thank you to Jess. That was fun, Jess.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you to Isis.
Isis, thank you.
Thank you to Nate Jackson Super Funny Comedy Club.
Yep.
And also, Trey, we miss you.
Oh, Trey.
Yeah. And but Isis, you're doing great. So anyway,
Go.
you got anything else?
Nope. That's it.
Bye.